Good morning, afternoon, or evening. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to Mr. Morrow's intensive math class. Today we are going to be talking about a very useful skill, and it's reducing fractions to lowest terms. This is very important and very useful because anytime that you add fractions, subtract fractions, multiply or divide fractions, you're going to have to reduce the answer to its lowest terms. So this is something that you're going to be seeing every single time that you work with fraction operations. Every single time. So let's really learn how to do it today. Let's understand it. Let's work it out. And let's knock it out. In order to reduce fractions to lowest terms, simply divide the numerator and denominator by the greatest common factor. You're going to divide the numerator and denominator by the same greatest common factor. For example, if I have the fraction 4/6, what is the greatest common factor of 4 and 6? What number goes into 4? Very good. 2. Remember that greatest common factor is the number the largest factor between two numbers. So you're going to divide both the top and the bottom by 2. 4 divided by 2 will equal 2. 6 divided by 2 will equal 3. How do you know that you're done? Because there are no more common factors. The only factors of 2 are 2 and 1. The only factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So you are done. That is what the goal of reducing fractions to lowest terms is. You simply divide the numerator and denominator by the greatest common factor. Now, I'm going to review really quickly with you what the greatest common factor is. The greatest common factor is the largest common factor between two or more numbers. If you know your multiplication tables and the divisibility test that we went over, for numbers, it is very easy to find the GCF of two or more numbers. Really quickly, I'm going to go through the divisibility test very quickly and verbally because you have notes on it already. If a number ends in an even number, if it ends in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, it is divisible by 2. A number is divisible by 3 if the sum of its digits is divisible by 3. A number is divisible by 4 if the last two digits is divisible by 4. A number is divisible by 5 if the last digit is a 0 or 5. A number is divisible by 6 if the number is both divisible by 2 and 3. The rule for 7 and 8 aren't very good, so you're going to have to actually divide those to see if it is divisible. A number is divisible by 9 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. And a number is divisible by 10 if it ends in 0. Okay? Hopefully by now, we've been working a lot with our multiplication tables. Hopefully you know those. If you know both of those two skills, finding the GCF is very simple. Remember that a factor is always less than or equal to the original number. A factor is always less than or equal to the original number. Okay? Multiples are the opposite. So the factors of, let's say, 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, and 4 and 5. Those are factors. Multiples are when you multiply a given number by all of the whole numbers starting with 0. So the multiples of 5 would be 5 or 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, etc., etc. Okay? So if you know these two skills of multiplying and the divisibility test, everything else is just a breeze. All right? Does that make sense to everybody? All righty. May I continue? Yes? Okay. Thank you, my brothers. So let's get right to it. There's not much to learn here today. We're just going to practice. Everyone's going to write these down. Everyone. Okay? Number 1, 30 divided by 42, 30 40-seconds. I got to find the greatest common factor between 30 and 42. Well, let's think about it. 3 plus 0 is 3, so 3 is divisible. 42, that's 4 plus 2 is 6, so that's divisible by 3 as well. So 3 is the greatest common factor. So I divide both top and bottom by 3, and I'm going to get, actually, we could go higher. That's right, because it's also divisible by 2, because it's an even number. So a number that's divisible by both 2 and 3 is divisible by 6. So very, very good. So this would be 5/7. 16 28ths. What is the greatest common factor between 16 and 28? What is the largest number that goes into both? Very good. 4. Excellent. So this would be 4/7. Excellent. What is the greatest common factor between 6 and 8? 2. Excellent. So I'm going to divide both the numerator and denominator by 2, giving me 3/4. Very excellent. Good job. What is the common denominator between 35 and 49? 7. I am so proud of you guys right now. I can tell that this multiplication quizzes that we do often is working because you're just getting these numbers right quick. Very proud of you. This probably wouldn't have happened 2 months ago. I'm very proud of you. So my answer would be 5/7. Excellent. What is the greatest common factor between 30 and 35? 5. That's exactly correct. I am very proud of you. So my answer is 6/7. How about the greatest common factor between 7 and 28? 7. That's absolutely correct. So the 7/28 reduced to lowest terms is 1/4. What is the greatest common factor between 10 and 14? 2. That's absolutely correct. Excellent. They're both even numbers. So my answer would be 5/7. What is the greatest common factor between 12 and 18? 6. Very, very good. Very good. So this is going to be 2/3. You guys are really tearing it up. I'm really happy, man. I'm really proud of you. What is the greatest common factor between 9 and 30? 3. That's exactly accurate. Excellent. So my answer would be 3/10. That is 9/30 reduced to the lowest terms. What is the greatest common factor between 5 and 50? That's exactly correct. So divide both numerator and denominator by 5, and you get 1/10. What is the greatest common factor between 2 and 8? 2, absolutely. So my lowest terms of this is 1/4. What is the greatest common factor of 4 and 12? 4, absolutely right. So divide both numerator and denominator by 4, which is 1/3. What is the greatest common factor between 6 and 16? 2, very good. Believe in yourselves, guys. You got this. So my answer would be 3/8. What is the greatest common factor between 7 and 14? 7. So my answer would be 1/2. What is the greatest common factor between 2 and 6? 2. So my answer would be 1/3. Very good. Okay. What is the greatest common factor between 36 and 42? 6. Yes, it is. Very good. Excellent. So my answer would be 6/7. What is the greatest common factor between 63 and 70? 7. Very good, gentlemen. Very good. So my answer is 9/10. What is the greatest common factor between 4 and 28? That's exactly correct. You are killing it. I'm really proud of you. That's 1/7. What is the greatest common factor between 6 and 9? 3. Absolutely. That's 2/3. Very good. And what is the greatest common factor between 10 and 15? It's 5. And my answer would be 2/3. And gentlemen, I promise you, reducing fractions is that easy. Okay? If you get large numbers, though, don't be afraid. For example, I'm glad you brought that up. Let me just put this here in case people are still writing. Let's say that I get a number like, let's say we get, I want you to reduce, let's see, 98 over 212. Okay, here is where we're going to have to do multiple divisions. What number do you know for sure goes into 98 and 212? 2? Okay, let's do 2. Okay, guys. 98 divided by 2 is 49. And 212 divided by 2 is 106. Now, what goes into 49 and 106? Okay, 7 goes into 49, but not into 106. If I divide 7, that goes in one time. That's 36, so no. 9, no. 4 plus 9 is 13. That's not divisible by 9. 4 plus 9 is 15. That is not. That's divisible by 3. But 1 plus 6 is not divisible by 3.
7.
No, 7 does not go in. We just proved it. That's it, guys. No, it's not divisible by 2 because 49 is not divisible by 2. So that's it. That's as far as I can go. What about this though? What about 58 divided by, let's say, 300? For sure, what goes into 58 and 300? 2. So let's divide that by 2. And then that's going to equal, what's 58 divided by 2? Actually, you know what? Let's not do 58. No, that's going to give me the same kind of thing. Let's do 68. What is that going to give? What's 68 divided by 2? 34 over 150. What goes into 34 and 150? 2, so you do it again. 34 divided by 2 is 17. 150 divided by 2 is 75. And nothing else goes into 17 or 75. So if you have large numbers, you use the divisibility test to keep dividing until you're left with the lowest term fraction. Does that make sense, my brothers?
Yes.
Thank you very much. God bless you, and I hope you learned a lot. Have a wonderful day.